Hi, and welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do a story time today, and it's going to be about my miscarriage. Hopefully my story will help you out there that have been through it or are currently going through it. Okay, so I believe it was in 2008. A lot of the time I get my years and dates mixed up, so a lot of the times I don't add them, but I happen to come across paperwork. So 2008 was a really good year for me. I sorry, you know that I get real emotional, so I'm gonna try to get through this. So 2008 was a really good year for me. I had a state job. Um, I ended up finding somebody who I was in love with at the time, and he proposed to me 2 days before my birthday. I found out that I was pregnant, and he was so excited about it, which made me even more excited than I already was. So he was working, I had a really good job, and we were going to be looking for houses when that upcoming week actually. And so we were like really excited. Like it was just, I couldn't have asked for more. Like I always wanted to be a mom. That's always something that I wanted to do. I always babysit kids. Kids love me. Kids always cling to me. So being a mom was something that I've always wanted to be. And it was just a really, really exciting time. So anyway, 5 a.m. he always came to my house and he would bring me different things that I was craving for. One of the things that was really good at that time, he worked at McDonald's. Money is still money. And he would bring me like, you know, I loved fish fillets or whatever. So he would bring me like fish fillets. And at that time I was always craving Snicker bars. So he would always bring me that. And this one morning I was just feeling really sick and really drained, and I didn't because when he used to bring me the things that I was craving for, I lived in Atlantic City, so we would always get a blanket and we would go to the boardwalk and lay the blanket on the sand, and we would like watch the sun come up. And that was our thing. But this one morning, I was just real tired, real drained, and I didn't want to go take a walk all the way to the boardwalk to talk or eat or wherever we did. I didn't want to do it. So the person that I was staying with, was just like, y'all need to go take a walk, you know. And I was like, he's just dropping stuff off this morning and he's going to be leaving. I don't want to say who the person was because I don't want y'all to, excuse me, I have something in my eye. I don't want y'all to judge this person. And so I was just like, he's going to be leaving, and, you know, I'm going to just go lay back down because I really don't feel good. And the person had told me maybe like 2 or 3 more times, you need to go take a walk. Y'all, y'all do that every morning, so why this morning things have to be different? So I was trying to explain once again, I do not feel good. I feel horrible. There is no way that I'm going to be able to get up and walk to the boardwalk. I just want to see him for a little bit, get the stuff that he brought me, and I want to lay back down. It happened so quick. Before I could even get another word out, the person comes in the kitchen and is yelling and screaming, I told y'all to leave. I told y'all to leave. And I'm just like, he's leaving now. Next thing I know, the person grabs me and starts to beat on me, punching me in my face, smacking me in my face, choking me, like literally lifting their foot up and ramming it down on my stomach. Like they knew that I was pregnant. They were ecstatic about me being pregnant. But at that moment, it was like they were trying to kill the baby. And I'm just like trying to cover my stomach, and I'm just asking, why you doing this? Why you doing this? Don't hit my stomach. You know that I'm pregnant. Like, I'm like, trying to like get them off me, and like I'm looking in their face, and I just see like nothing. Like, they're cussing, calling me all kinds of B's. Oh, you fat B, you fat this, you fat that, you dirty B, all this stuff. And I'm just crying and screaming. So in the midst of all this, my fiance is trying to get this person off me. And I just yell at him, just call the cops, call the cops. When the cops came, they took us both. Now, riding in the back of the cop car, I'm just having so much pain. I'm just not feeling good. I'm just having so much pain, and I'm just like, telling the cop, like, I really think I need to, go to the hospital. Like, I'm pregnant, and they didn't listen to me. Mind you, when they had took me out of the cop car to walking me, through to I guess where the cell was, the person who was beating me was yelling how much they hate me and that it's my fault that they're going to jail, and and they sat me in this cell, and I'm just crying, and I'm just holding my stomach, and I remember just praying, God, please just let my baby be okay. They had me in the cell for hours, and 1 hour went past, 2 hours went past. Like, I was just in there for a really long time. And I'm thinking, like, for a fight, I'm in here, and I'm like, yelling for the cop, and I'm telling them I need to see a doctor. Like, I'm having really, really bad pains, and I need to see a doctor. So finally, like, they let me out of the cell, and I'm asking them, like, can I leave and stuff, and they say leave. It was a black female doctor, I mean black female cop, and she said, leave. You're not going anywhere. You're going to the county jail. I took you out to fingerprint you. Like, my heart instantly just felt like it was jumping out my chest. What? I never been in trouble. Never been to jail, like, no, none of that. So I'm like, what? So I just told her, like, well, is there any way that I can see a doctor? And she was like, the only thing you're going to see is the inside of that cell, because once we're done fingerprinting you, that's where you're going. And I remember them taking me in the cell, and I just started crying. And like, when I started crying, I just felt like the outfit that I had just was really, it started getting real soaked. And so I'm screaming, I need to see a doctor. I said, I need to see a doctor. I think I'm having a miscarriage. They did not take me to see no doctor. More hours had passed. They ended up put me back in a police car with this guy. And I'm just like, I don't know what's happening, but my clothes are getting really soiled. And I need to see a doctor, like, I'm pregnant. They took me to the county jail. My clothes were so soiled. Like when the police officer brought me back to, I guess, like, search me to make sure I didn't have anything on me, she didn't even want to touch me because my clothes were so soaked. So all she did was gave me an orange uniform and told me to put that on. And I really need to see a doctor. I'm pregnant, and she's like, that's none of my business. She ain't say it's none of my business. She said it's not her problem. Put that outfit on once, and I put that on, she gonna come back and check me, and then they go through the next step. So they put me in, like, a hole, and I believe it was called a hole. Yeah, they put me in there, and they had me in there for a few days, and I'm like still asking, can I see a doctor? Can I see a doctor? They wouldn't let me see a doctor. So my cellie ended up seeing that my clothes was soaked with blood, and she got like something that was banging on the cell, screaming for the officers. And she's like, something is wrong with her. She's bleeding through her clothes. They kept me in that cell for another day or so, and then this one officer came because she would, the whole few, like, the lady that was in the cell with me, for those few days I was in there, she just kept banging, kept telling them that I needed to see a doctor. And this one cop came and he said he wouldn't be human if he just let me stay in here another day with bloody clothes. So he snuck me out of my cell to take a shower, and he gave me another orange outfit, and then they gave me some pads. Still wouldn't let me see a doctor. So finally, they let me see a doctor, and she checked me out, and she was like, "Oh, I think you had a miscarriage. It's all right. You're young. You'll have more kids." And they took me back in my cell. Um, um, that same day, I think that's where they put me with the rest of the people, like in the population with everybody else. And I just remember feeling broken. Of course, in the beginning, they took my phone. They took my engagement ring off my finger because, of course, I couldn't wear that in there. And I lost everything. And come to find out, the reason why they took me to jail is because the person that was beating me had a scratch on, I believe, their arm. And that person told the police officers that I stabbed them. So I was in jail because somebody lied and said that I stabbed them. They beat me, lied on me, and killed my baby. And then, in order to get the charges that I had dropped, in order to get the charges that I had on me dropped, my mom talked to me and that person, and then she came back to me and she said, "You have to go to them and apologize, and then they will drop the charges." So I had to go to this person, say I'm sorry, basically ask for forgiveness, and that's how they dropped the charges. Like I said, I'm not going to tell y'all who this person is because I don't want y'all to judge them. But yeah, so every time around, okay, so July 1st is my birthday, but every time around July, I always get really sad because 2 days before my birthday, that's when I got proposed to. And that same month is when I found out I was pregnant. And so I normally get like really sad around those times because, I just can imagine like what my life would have been if I had my baby. And like I know I would have been an awesome mom because, being a mother is something that I've always wanted. I'm 32 years old. Y'all do the math. From 2008 to 2019. That completely changed my life because I've never been able to have a baby since. It's been a couple times where I thought that I was pregnant, but it's like I can't, I don't know if I can or I can't have a baby. Every time I go get checked out, they said I'm fine and I'm able to have a baby, but maybe it's just not God's will. But I always think about my baby, and I always think about what my life would have been. So around after that whole situation happened is when I just started to pick up weight. I didn't know what it was called, but now that I know, I was really, really depressed. I do suffer from depression and anxiety, and I think 2017 is when I was diagnosed. Um, so my goal for myself now is to get healthy and lose 100 pounds and get to where I need to be, because I want to restart the process of losing the weight, so I can be able to get the sleeve surgery. That's a goal for myself. Some people might say it's the easy way out, but I feel you have to work just as hard. Like you can't get the surgery and just be like, oh hey, I'm skinny. No, you have to get the surgery. You have to train your mind how to eat a certain way. I started the process in 2017, and I ended up losing 50 something pounds, and I was getting right to the I had the last step was I had to pay for the psychological evaluation, and then I was going to be getting approved for surgery, but my dad ended up passing away, and I fell into a really dark place. And so I called them, and they said, being that it's been a year, I had to restart the process over again. But I just, first of all, I wanted to encourage you guys that have lost your baby or your child. It, it, it gets better. You cope with it. I lost my child in a very bad way. And just to have that feeling of knowing that life is inside you, and you could just feel the life just being sucked right out of you. Not being able to not being able to get medical treatment and things like that. Not being able to have a baby since. So my goal for myself is just to lose weight and to get back into a healthier place. And the surgery is still a goal. You know, from 2008 to now, I had picked up a lot of weight. A lot of it is due to my depression. Honestly, when I get depressed and stuff like that, I snack a lot. But when my doctor told me that I needed to see a therapist is when I would get depressed, and then I wouldn't eat at all. I would probably fix like a pack of noodles, and then I wouldn't eat after that, or then I would eat like a slice of bread and some water. And she's like, you can't do that. I know you're trying not to gain weight, but what you're doing is still bad for your body. So I encourage you guys, when you go through traumatic situations, it's important to see a therapist. Like I know, like the black community, we say that's a no-no, but having a therapist has been the best thing in my life. Like I said, I've been suffering from different things since I was a child. I made a video of my cousin, touching me, and there's other videos that I'm going to be making about, other different things. Me losing my baby was one of the most traumatic things I have ever experienced, and just how the police treated me like I was nothing, like I really was a criminal, and like I really stabbed this person. Like, that's not even me. Like, I don't even like to see blood. So I hope that I encourage you to know that even though you're going through, there is light at the tunnel, but you just have to keep going until you get to that light. Things will get better. Prayer is amazing. Having a good support system is great. Therapy is needed. A lot of people go without therapy and stuff, and they think, oh, I can fix things myself, and that's not the case. You need to be able to talk to somebody who don't know you, who won't judge you, and is getting paid to do so, Would I like to have children? Yes. Every time I go to the doctor, they say everything is fine and I'm able to have them. But like I said, it might not be God's will. My timing might not be God's timing. I remember when I was young, I did make a prayer God, please don't ever let me have a child with a man and I'm not married. And I think God's holding me to that. But yeah, so that's my miscarriage story slash weight and what my future goals is concerning my weight. Um, your negative comments are not wanted, but I know that trolling is what people like to do. Positive comments, I would love them. If you have anything that you can comment below that will be useful to me in my weight loss journey.